Okay, babe. Okay, babe. Okay, babe. I am guessing I'm the only one on here right now at the moment. We are waiting. We are waiting to see if anybody joins us. And if maybe my count is wrong here, then shoot me a comment. Let me know that you're here. What we're doing tonight is having a. Guessing I'm the only one on here right now at the moment. Shut off the YouTube video. We are waiting. Mute it. There we are. So this is a think tank session where I am open to any questions, comments, thoughts that you have about the ministry of Bethel and the life of Bethel. So there we go. I see Linda Kiger is there. How's it going? Just use those comments. We might be on a minute to 45-second delay between live and what I see pop up on the screen. So, but use those comments to respond to me. Linda Kiger, how's it going? Good, there we go. All right, see, like I said, there's probably about a 45-second delay or so from real time to what's seen on the screen. At the moment, it looks like we might have one other person that just started joining us. If you're with us, Linda Kiger has already pointed out that she's here. If you're also with us, just point out that you're here. And we'll gradually get the ball rolling. I'm guessing it's going to be like Sunday morning, where people will show up 5 to 10 minutes after we start. But while we're waiting for that third, because I think I'm one person on there. It says there's 3. I think I'm one. Linda, you're the second, and then there's one other person here watching at the moment. But whoever the other person is, you and Linda, you have the full floor. So again, what I'm looking for is if you have any questions about the life of the church, or any questions about just the ministry of the church, or the way I minister, or any insights or input into the life of the church, let me know. And yeah, no, Linda, I know you're on time. I see that. I just mean we might have a couple additional ones that show up on time, but how's it feel to be on time, Linda? All right, so feel free to, whatever questions you have, or concerns that you have, or input you have about the church, just go ahead and put that in the comments, and I'll be glad to answer whatever you have. And my daughter is here at the moment. No. Will you take care of that door? Take care of that door. My daughter is here at the moment, and I think she thinks she's going to be some kind of a celebrity because we're live on YouTube. Little does she know that means that there's just you, Linda, because I think the other person we just lost. So it's just me and you. And you put new in there. Is that a question? Yeah, either everybody forgot or there just wasn't interest in doing it online. That's why I offered it at 7 for in person. But my goal in doing this, although I think I see a car pulling up, my goal in doing this was to make sure that we are giving a voice to the people at Bethel, that they have the opportunity to share anything they have concern or be able to give input to the life of the church. And so opening the door for that. But if people don't take advantage of that, then that's fine. That just means that they're good. Kind of like when I've done when we were going to make some facility changes and I offered for people to chime in and provide some input. Those who couldn't complain later. So it's similar type thing. We're opening doors for people to share comments and things they'd like to see changed or whatever. And, but nonetheless, Linda, since you're the only one here, you can ask any question and you're first in line the whole time. You can ask questions over and over and over if you want. While Faith tries to perform on my left. No, don't come in. Well, Faith tries to perform on the left to try to get my attention to get on YouTube. Let's see. Love everything we were doing. No new to being on time. Newer music. Yes, that's an ongoing wrestle to get newer music. I'm regularly harassing Joe with that. Some of the challenge that he has had is the type of songs that the team can perform. So some of the newer songs are a bit challenging, at least for the team that we presently have. And some of it is Joe getting time to get the team together to rehearse and practice new songs. It requires some additional rehearsals. So, but anytime you have a song that you would like for the worship team to play, feel free to text that to me, and I'll get that over to Joe and see if we can't get those on there. But that's definitely something that's there waiting to happen. So, and if I keep kind of looking around, it's because I'm checking to see where Faith is. Faith, stay out from there. Linda, would you like to babysit? Oh, do we need a guitar person again? Absolutely. That's been another thing I've been praying about. That's not a reason to get new people alone, but that is a reason why I'm hoping as we do the different types of outreaches we're doing, that we get some additional people joining us for sure, and finding out there's musical ability. We actually, one of the things we do now is when we have a new person, we give them a welcome packet like we have before, and we have in there a Find My Purpose sheet, and it lists all the different responsibilities that are within the church and spread across the many ministries. And of course, one of them is musical ability, and we give them several weeks to do that. We don't pressure them initially, and then once we get to a certain point, then we start contacting them to find out about filling that out. I do miss Steve also. He certainly elevated the ability of the team, and just was a great asset to have. So you can be praying that he returns. Stop it, Faith. Of course, that the reason why he left was because of a church planning opportunity. but we didn't have them before, and then we had them. So we certainly can get additional people like that in the future. So be praying, along with our efforts, be praying that the Lord brings someone. If you notice that red dot following me, that was Faith shining at my face, to which she will have consequences later for. You were supposed to sit and be quiet. So what else you got, Linda? You have my full undivided attention. If I would have known what the attendance would be, we could have had a phone call. We'll see if anybody watches this after the fact and leaves comments. So you had said, how can we get our people back that used to come? That is a broad category, because the people that haven't returned, there's multiple reasons. Some left because they relocated out of state. We had some move to Florida, some to Oklahoma, some to California, some to Tennessee. So we had several people. Two of those were families, one a family of 5, one a family of like 7 that had relocated, then 2 individuals. So that certainly set us back, so that they won't be coming back, at least in person. Then we had some people move on for a couple different reasons. My approach to COVID was one. Pews and the chairs seem to have become a thing for a person or two. Some of my political pushback for being politically neutral, certainly, and some of my comments about racial issues chased some people away. So that is an obstacle. So the enemy certainly came in and kind of disrupted some things with that. Then there are some people that aren't here because they still haven't whether they're not comfortable coming into public gatherings yet, or they're just out of the habit of coming in the building. But there's multiple reasons. So some of it could be our efforts through the connection groups would certainly be a part of persuading some of the people who haven't come back because of concern with COVID, or just having got out of the habit of it. So that's part of it. And you don't have to be sorry about that. We are called as ministers to speak the truth, no matter what the consequences are. So, if we lost some people in the process, then that's the Lord doing his pruning in our body. But we have been ticking back up again. I don't have the numbers for today's attendance, but last week was a little low compared to what we were. We were pushing up we were around 70 for 2 weeks. And then last week we had kind of a low count. Today looked like it might have been in the average range. But between our Facebook outreach, which is getting us some visitors, and some of those people are coming in enthusiastic, and they're bringing people with them, as well as our door-to-door campaign seems to be opening some doors for things to happen, but it'll just be gradual. When I first came to Bethel, that was actually my target, was all the people we lost. So we sent letters, we made phone calls, did things on social media, and that's how we very quickly jumped from 40 some people to over 70 at that time. But things happen. So what else you got, Linda? All the question asking responsibility falls on you. and feel free, if you don't have any more questions, you can jump out at any time. But I am, for the next 30 minutes, at your disposal for whatever questions you have. And if anybody else jumps on, I'll be here for them too. Even if you have any theological questions or biblical questions, because like I said, with you being the only one sitting here, you have free reign. Or even personal questions, as long as it's not too personal, as this is on YouTube. I'm not as jittery as some people are. Some people don't want to share anything on social media, but for me, I'm not as restrained on that. Okay, I appreciate that, Linda, seeing that I've challenged the way you think. And I think you said sometimes I think you meant to say hurts there. Yeah, that's the word of God is sharper than any two-edged sword and divides between joint and marrow. So that's definitely a thing there. So, and that's actually part of the greatest challenge of leading a church is you are called to attract people, to draw people in, but you're also called to challenge them. And people love flocking to love and affection and affirmation and help. And they run from challenge and accountability. So you kind of have to constantly do a balancing act. In fact, Jesus, one of my favorite stories in thinking about that kind of a concept is Jesus having the crowds of people flock around him. And then at some point, he started pushing the accountability envelope. And when he did, everybody left. And he's like, asks his disciples, the 12, are you guys going to leave too? So that's just kind of the reality of ministry is that challenge. So. And Faith's working up her brownie points at the moment, acting on her best behavior after that threat of some consequence. What Linda, what would you say was the most thought-provoking challenge that you encountered at Bethel? And while you're thinking of that, I see your other question pop up. Getting young families. So what we're doing with door to door is we're going door to door and we're asking the neighbors what they feel are the organizations in the neighborhood that are already helping with the neighborhood, to see if there's opportunity for us to jump in on what's already taking place and support that. We're asking them what they believe the church can reasonably do to help them in their lives, what they find is the most challenging thing in their lives. And we're doing that from now to the end of May and see if we get any kind of common theme. And if we do, then we're going to attempt to meet that need during the summer and see if that does not create some kind of connection for us. So we have other connection things that we're toying with in our head, but that's one that's sitting there. The challenge with those large events, those parking lot events, which we can do that again, but we often, and this is true when I've tried it since I've been here, it was true with Pastor Greg, it was true with Pastor Holt, that they never seem to like transition people into the building. You know, that we could get people into the parking lot, but they couldn't come into the building or wouldn't come into the building. And that's true with a lot of churches that do the large events. So we're trying to find more personal connection things that might get people in the door. like I said, with the door-to-door, one of the things we'll do besides the survey is we're going to go back and revisit the houses that we already did and begin to offer to pray for them, offer other things for them to try to start building those relationships. I think we just need to cast the net wide. Some of the challenges getting the children's ministry strong and in working order. Some of it is not having young adults, not very many young adults very present in our midst, because when people come to church, a lot of times young adults are looking around to see if there's anybody that is in my context that I would relate to. And usually when they come here, they're seeing middle-aged and upward. And sometimes people decide to check out other churches when that's the context. But the good news is we have, some things popping up, like Sean and Gracie having a baby, though they are more in I won't say how old they are, but they might be outside the young adult category. But them having a baby creates a young family feel. Bye, Faithy. We have Donovan that started attending. We have Danielle and Luke that started attending. We have Caitlin that we reached through the Facebook outreach. So we have a number of younger people that are starting to come in. So now it's just a matter of people coming and now feeling comfortable because of that presence. That's possible. That is something I've thought of. Some of our greatest challenge with that is I'm still wrestling with putting all my energy towards a thing that would gain the most fruit. And the parking lot things just never seem to really generate much fruit. I'm open to trying them again, but they do take a good amount of time and stuff to prepare. So I'll just we'll keep praying through that one. Caitlin is a hoot. You're right. She certainly brings some energy and newness, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we'll think about those parking lot things. The Facebook outreach actually has generated guests coming maybe on an every other week basis, getting a new person coming in from Facebook. So right now we're putting a lot of energy in that. We'll see what happens with the door-to-door surveying. So there are some things happening, and this is since the pandemic, this is a common challenge. Churches that have lost attendance. A lot of my pastor friends, and even from the district, hearing that most city churches are really at 50% or so capacity to what they were before the pandemic. So, and a lot of it was, and I was listening to a podcast discussing this idea, a lot of it is wondering how well we did at discipleship, because a lot of the people that did not return to churches were the people that were your sporadic attenders or fairly new to the church. So it just makes you wonder, was there something missing in the discipleship wing? VBS, that's another one I'm open with. It takes a lot of work. And definitely there's people interested in that. But what I have discovered personally with VBS is it tends to be an opportunity for Christians to take their kids to do something and then go back to their church. Like Heather, she slowed down on a little bit last summer, I think, but Heather would actually take our kids to 4 or 5 different VBSs during the summer just to get them out of the house and get them doing something. But obviously she's not going to leave Bethel to go to some other church. And that seems to be the common thing that happens with VBS. You either have some people that are not churched come to them, but they never come, or some people are coming to them, but they're already Christians, they're already churched, and they have no intention to come back. And that doesn't mean you don't do a VBS. It just means VBS doesn't seem to be very fruitful when it comes to evangelism. It might be a great service for discipleship and maybe spiritual inspiration for kids in Christian households, but it doesn't seem to be the outreach tool that maybe it used to be. Yeah, you used to do that too. Yeah. So see, that seems to be a thing. It's a great retreat, relief from parents, VBS, but not so much a great outreach tool. So, but if you would like to do a VBS, you can certainly lead it if you would like to. Yes, some of it is that. Some of it is that, which is why we've done making our presence known, which is why we've done the Coons outreach. It's why we did some of the parking lot things, is making our presence known. Even where we have our small groups, we purchased 1,000 door hangers about Easter Sunday. And the small groups are going to collectively go through the neighborhood and hang those out on doors. And so even if people don't come, that certainly makes people aware that, oh, there is a church down there. We have had people, when we've done door to door, say, when we told them we're from the church down the road, we've been doing Ingham Street at the moment. They say, oh yeah, I hear that you guys are doing a lot of good things there. So there is chatter out there. It's just finding a way to get them into the building is certainly the challenge. So what else you got, Linda? You have 17 minutes of ask whatever you want. And like I said, you can branch out outside of church world since it's just you and me. Or even if it's Bible questions. Yes, having community groups, that's interesting that you mentioned that, because I just listened to a podcast talking about how today churches don't use their buildings as often as they used to, which means you have all this office space, classroom space. Why not make those spaces available to the public for different things? So I might contact the civic group. The challenge is getting there on Tuesdays. I have different things that go on Tuesday nights, but they meet, I think, once a month on Tuesday evenings. And I've just not been able to get there. But finding out what groups there are, we're trying to find it out from our neighbors as we go door to door. But finding out what groups there are that we can participate in and offer use of our building and those kind of things. We've done that sporadically, but I'd love to see that happen more commonly. So yeah, that's great that you had mentioned that. That's kind of a confirmation for that. It's just logistically trying to find out who needs to use the building and how to get them to the building. So it looks like we got one other person that joined us. If you're on with me and Linda, just put a comment in there so I know who's with us, and feel free to ask any question. Linda has been great at giving me questions to keep me occupied these 30 minutes. So I appreciate your company. And if you're the third person watching, just jump right in there and put a comment to ask any question that you have. And Linda, don't feel the need to stop asking questions. You can keep throwing them out there, because we don't have any questions yet from our third participants. So throw anything in there, or any other suggestions like that. And the cool thing with YouTube is these comments that you're given, Linda, will stay in there. So they kind of give me they kind of work as my secretary, give me a record of the questions and input that was provided. So any question about, like I said, Bible messages that I've presented recently? Any questions about the videos that are on YouTube, or any questions about myself? LOL. Yeah. There's a term called ghosting, and I'm not sure if I know the right lingo for it. Ghosting is where you text somebody and they don't respond. It's like they're not there. They're a ghost. I guess calling and they don't respond. So we have a ghost dwelling with us at the moment that is watching but not asking questions, which is not a requirement. But I debated on whether or not to do this on Facebook or YouTube. We have the ability to go to both, but I have to use the camera from upstairs to be able to do both. So when I do it from my computer, I have to choose to go from YouTube or Facebook. And Facebook has the better interactive tools, but YouTube is more easily accessible to anybody. So I kind of defaulted to that. And thanks for the love, Linda. I appreciate that you love everything that we're doing. We'll keep trying and seeing what we can get. But if and you said you wish you could do more. Well, I know your situation, and you're limited with different things, and I know that some of that you wish you could be free from eventually. But so unless, yes, I will do that. I'll send you that app at some point soon. So do you, we're at 6:32. I was ready to go to 6:45, but do you have any additional questions, or are we ready to wrap up? And while Linda's thinking about that, if you are watching but not commenting, or if you happen to watch this video after the recording of it, you can still leave comments. And because it's not live, I won't get to it immediately, but I will in time check those comments and respond to any of them. So any additional questions before we wrap up? Ready to stop? Yes. All right. Well, Lord, thank you so much for the opportunity to open up this venue. And I ask that there will be some fruit from it, even if it was just me and Linda and our other ghost friend watching. So thank you for that in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, Linda. Well, thanks for keeping me company. And I hope you have a wonderful evening. Tell Doug I said hi, and I will see you probably next week. All right. Have a wonderful night.